Well, I want to welcome everybody today to this State of the City address, and I've been preparing this for a little while now. And thank you to our Chamber of Commerce for setting this up and hosting it. Thank you to the different sponsors who are out there. Simple Elegance, what a great meal. Let's give Simple Elegance a hand for the meal. And as Danielle mentioned up front, we are recording this. Amos Productions is recording this, so thank you, Amos Productions. This will be on the city's website and also the Chamber of Commerce website. So we'll get started here. And on the way in here, I saw Katie Marcel from Innovation Tri-Valley, and we were talking about the earthquake swarms that you heard about a little earlier. And she goes, "Yeah, I can't wait to hear what's shaking in San Ramon." So here we go. We'll talk about this. And as I speak to you today, I'm going to talk to you from a perspective, not just as a mayor, but as one of your neighbors. And so let's go ahead with the first slide. All right, so why did I choose to come to San Ramon in the first place? So I was in the Army. We were living in Germany back in 2004, and I was trying to set up for my own retirement from the Army, and I grew up in the Bay Area, and so it's like, oh, are there any jobs in the Bay Area? Army jobs in the Bay Area are few and far between. But I was able to get a job over at Camp Parks as the Chief of Staff of the 91st Division. And so then I started asking, where's a good place to live nearby? And they said, San Ramon. Everybody was telling me San Ramon. It's like, I grew up in Palo Alto. I had no idea where San Ramon, I didn't even know where Camp Parks was. But where is San Ramon, and why is everybody talking about it? And they were telling me about what a great city it was, beautiful city, safe city, great schools, and things like that. And so we ended up coming to San Ramon. I started looking for a place to live, and I started to experience these same things that people were talking about, right? The great quality of life and the safe schools and parks and things like that. And, it's like, this is a great place to raise our kids. And we had 4 kids at the time, my wife Brenda and I. One was in elementary school, 1 middle school, and 2 in the high school. So we experienced, Golden View, Walt Disney, Pine Valley, and all 4 graduated from Cal High. All 4 went on to kind of start their own careers and are back here in the Bay Area. And we participated in a lot of different things with sporting events, with school events, with all the different activities that you go through in a community with kids growing up. And then later on, my time on the city council, same sort of thing. I could go into different community events, different cultural events, interacting with people, scouts, walking a dog, all sorts of times that you interact and you hear about the things that are important to people. And we even chose that we're making an effort right now to raise our grandkids. We got 4 grandkids. We're making an effort to kind of expose them to the great things in San Ramon as well. All right, and so as I walked around and I talked to people and I kind of hear what they're talking about and what's important to them, I've tried to capture some of that here on this slide. And these are some of the things that I've found that you said you value about San Ramon, the things that you love about San Ramon. And what's great is that I share these same values. And these aren't just slogans, these are lived values that you say are important to you and are important to me as well. And some of that is, it's all the active lifestyle, it's the outdoor activities, it's the fun things you can do at the park with the kids, it's our safe city and great schools and things like that. And then another thing that you said was a value was, we have a great diverse community and we have this idea of connectedness and people want to be connected. And so I want to highlight just for a second in the theme of connectedness, the new bridge that we opened up last year across Bollinger Canyon Road. It was our busiest road in San Ramon. And so we finally did the ribbon cutting, getting that bridge opened up. And that was a challenge. It was a kind of a public safety challenge in that you had people riding their bikes and walking and trying to get across Bollinger Canyon Road. They're having to press a button, wait for traffic to stop. And that caused a secondary problem. Not only did people not want to go through that whole safety challenge, but it also stopped cars. And stopped cars for what was calculated to be about 3 hours a day at that red light there. And so with this new bridge, it's been able to activate this transportation corridor that connects our region, connects multiple cities, connects kind of the north and the south part of the city here on the west side, and reduces a lot of that safety concern that we had. So we've seen a huge increase in the use of Iron Horse Trail now that we've got that bridge opened up. So we're really excited about that. And it's an award winner. We recently got word just last week that the League of California Cities, as well as the California State Association of Counties and the County Engineers Association of California, designated that bridge project as a top winner for California for the category of streets and roads. So we're really excited about that. Okay, next slide, please. All right, let me change gears a little bit and talk about how we govern. I won't get into all the details about, we've got a city council, city manager form of government. What that kind of means is that the council does the policy level things. We approve a budget. We establish strategic goals and that sort of thing, pass the different ordinances and laws. But it's the city manager that actually runs the day-to-day business of the city and does that through the departments. But what we do is we come up with different goals. And we have a goal-setting session every year. And these are the current 6 strategic goals that we've come up with. And from this are some actionable objectives. That does a couple things for the city manager. He's able to turn that, in working with the departments, he can turn that into the budget. And that budget will be proposed and then passed by the city council. The other thing it does, it establishes kind of a work plan for what the city is going to do. So we can continue to focus on those things that are so important to you, those things that you value, that I value, that I talked about at the beginning. All right, next slide, please. All right, and so some of you have heard me talk about these things before. These are my commitments to you. These are my priorities. And public safety, of course, is going to be up there, but it's protecting our neighborhoods, protecting our open space. You can read them there. These are not just talking points. This is really important to me, and it's important to you, and so that's what we focus on. So let's talk about the public safety for a minute. So safety is really the foundation of everything we do, for everything we do in the city. And without a good, safe system to operate in and live in, then it's just not the same. So you heard a little bit about that partnership at the earthquake town hall that we had the other day. But there was our police department. Our police department is so well respected in our community. And it's important for our council to make sure that they're well resourced and they got the tools they need to keep our city safe. But they do have a good partnership with the fire district. And we talked about that in that town hall. You can see the top left side of the screen there is a new fire training facility. This is in San Ramon. And they just opened up last year. And this is in the area over at Crow Canyon and Bollinger, where our public safety complex is. And this is where it's jointly housed for both the fire district as well as our police department. We've got a brand new emergency operations center, a state-of-the-art dispatch center that'll dispatch not only emergency services and fire for the district, but also our San Ramon police as well. And those partnerships extend beyond just the fire department, but it's also with the county. It's with our utilities. It's with, other towns and cities nearby us. So the partnerships are really important. We talked about those partnerships. We talked about emergency preparedness and readiness of our government entities in case there is a big disaster. We were talking at that earthquake town hall, as well as some of the things that individuals can do to prepare for that big one, that next big earthquake. All right, now a couple of these things listed here should be no surprise to you. San Ramon is a great place with great quality of life, one of the best places to live, one of the best suburbs to raise a family in the area, and of course we're a safe city. This is no surprise to you here, but we're recognized not only within the county, but also the region, the Bay Area, across the state and across the nation as one of the best places to live, work, and play. All right, and so why is it so great? Well, some of the things listed here, And let me just touch on facilities for a minute, right? We got great playgrounds, a lot of parks. We got over 60 parks. Got 4 community centers. We've got an art center. We've got a senior center. We've got 4 dog parks, 2 Olympic aquatic centers. We've got a performing arts center. Got a lot of things going on in the city. Of course, all this costs money, but it's things that are important to you, different things, activities where you can go and do things with your family. And performing arts center there for different concerts. We got 2 libraries maintained, or we help to maintain, but operated by the county. Great sports fields for our teams, our young youth to play on, et cetera. So, and you also love our outdoors. There's a lot of, we're surrounded by beautiful hills. You want an active lifestyle, and so. You give that opportunity. We're updating our Trails Master Plan right now, and lots of things, from the farmers market over at City Center to volunteer opportunities with the Parks Make Life Better program to activities over at Forest Home Farms, which is our city historic farm park. All right. And then a ton of cultural activities and community activities as well. We've got so many things going on with our very diverse community, not just concerts, but these are holiday functions, cultural events, special events that make our city a special place to live. And it's for everybody. It's, from the youngest in our community to our teens, our youth, our adults, and as well as our seniors, which is growing the fastest segment of our population right now. All right, so all that stuff that you love, that I love, that you value, how do we protect that and preserve that? And so we have a challenge. We have a state mandated requirement to plan for, between now and 2031, not just plan for, but also show progress towards new development of another 5,000 plus housing units. So where's it all going to go? In this slide, you see that yellow boundary. That's our city limits, but it also is basically our urban growth boundary. And we're largely built out all the way to that urban growth boundary. So where's all this going to go? You can see a little bit of space in there. That's our open space. But again, I told you we want to protect our open space. We don't want to build there, but most of that is either not buildable, or it's protected somehow. It's private land, or it's got some conservation easement or trust or something, or parks will own that land. So it's already protected, but it's not buildable land. So we've got to build somewhere for these 5,000 plus units. And so our focus has been, in terms of in our general plan, most current version of it, is to put this in our city core area, and that's that area in green there. That's mostly the Bishop Ranch area. And thank you, Alex Mayer and Sunset Development. They've got about 585 acres in Bishop Ranch, another 92 acres at the old Chevron Park. But this is where most of that new housing and development is going to be focused. Again, the idea, we want to protect our open space, we want to protect your neighborhoods and not have to build out there. And so this is where most of that is going to be thoughtfully developed. I'll come back to some housing things in a minute, but I want to transition and talk a bit about businesses in San Ramon. So we've got a great business environment here. You heard from the chamber, you've heard from Discover San Ramon. They do what they can to help create an environment to attract businesses, to maintain and retain businesses here. We've had a lot of ribbon cuttings lately for new restaurants and retail and non-retail. And some of our shopping centers have been going through revitalization, which is really exciting to see. And what we're doing from a city perspective, to help make all this happen is we're creating that great quality of life. We're creating the environment where businesses can thrive and operate, where it's, thank you, where it's safe, yes, where it's safe for our businesses to operate, for the shoppers to shop, and for the families of the workers to be able to live here in San Ramon. So we're excited about that. We've done a couple other things in terms of keeping our business license fees low, trying to do some things to streamline the permitting process for like tenant developments, improvements, and also to change the way we look at some of the spaces in our zoning ordinance, some of the land uses in our zoning ordinance and our general plan, so that more spaces can be leased out, and that will help activate some of our existing shopping centers. Next slide, please. Last year I said I'd give a quick update this year on where we are with our budget, and again, thank you for the voters who in 2024 passed Measure N. And we're on track right now to bring in about $13.5 million in additional revenue, and that's good news because that's allowed us to restore some of the things that we cut in the previous budget. And probably more importantly, we've been able to maintain a lot of those essential services and programs that you said are so important to you. Our cities have been able to keep all those things going. And there's some commitments we made recently at one of our recent council meetings about how we have maintained fiscal resilience. And you see the things in this box here: no new programs or positions without trade-offs, no spending money we don't already have, and no unsustainable commitments. Sounds pretty basic, pretty simple, but we've got to discipline ourselves. This Measure N money is not permanent. It's a 10-year time frame for that money, so we have to continue to look for other ways that we can either cut spending, increase revenues, or have some better efficiencies. And we're just like any other city or agency around us. We've still got some financial challenges. We've got to work through that structural deficit over time, but we're making good progress on that this year. Next slide. Okay, and I'm going to just cover a couple things here on the future and building out for the future. You'll see a couple things this year. One is in that upper left picture. That's Critter Crossroads Park. And this is a park that's been a long time coming. It's out in Doherty Valley. When Doherty Valley was first being built out, there was supposed to be a park. Well, it's really finally done. It's finished, but we're working through the punch list on some of the items so we can get that park finally opened up. The county will sign off on that. City will accept that park, and we're excited that'll be a new addition to our inventory. And then down at the bottom there, Crow Canyon Gardens. Long time that Crow Canyon Gardens has been just sitting there. That's where the old Mudd's restaurant was, over on Crow Canyon Road. It's an old dilapidated building right now, but we're going to have a new space to do activities in. We'll have a demonstration garden that will be upgraded. There's already a community garden, but that community garden will be expanded. There'll be a new play space that'll be kind of a nature-themed play space, as well as walking trails going out throughout the garden. So we're starting phase 1 and phase 2 this year of that multi-phase project, and we're excited to see something finally start happening on Crow Canyon Gardens. And then another thing we're going to be doing is making some decisions on the Boone House restoration and renovation. This is over at Forest Home Farms. There's some work that needs to be done over there. It's going to cost quite a bit of money. We got to figure out how to do that, but we're going to make some decisions on that this year. And then lastly, I just covered the Crow Canyon crossing. This is another bridge, just like we did on Bollinger, but it'll be across Crow Canyon along the Iron Horse Trail. A couple years ago, we got the seed funding to do the design work for that. It was a federal grant. And so that design process is a kind of a 2-year process. We're in that phase right now where we're getting that design work done, and hopefully by maybe the end of 2027, we'll have a project that's shovel ready, and then we can go out and find additional grants and additional funding for other people's money to kind of help us get that project to help, it's right there on the border with Danville, but help connect the region as well and make it a better pass-through all the way through San Ramon. That's a safe way to get through the city. Okay, I told you I'd come back to some of the development things that we're doing here. I won't cover it all, but I'm going to highlight a couple things. So it's you see that yellow area again. That's our kind of urban growth boundary. You can see the little bubbles in there. I'm going to highlight those, but those are in that city core area generally where we're focusing most of that new development. Again, what we're trying to do is protect your existing neighborhoods, and you're not going to see me talking about development that's going on in your neighborhood out and about in the city. So let's go to the first one of these. First is Iron Horse Village. This is over at the corner of Crow Canyon and Al Costa. It's 117 units. There's kind of a multi-family townhomes along Crow Canyon, and then some single-family homes as you kind of move towards the post office. And this will be a great new addition to the inventory of for-sale home options in the city. Next. Okay, a little south of that is BR11. This is over at the corner of Camino Ramon and Norris Canyon. You've probably seen those buildings coming down. They're cleaning that all up. Right now, this is the old John Muir office spaces. This will be about 195 new units. These will be multifamily as well as some single-family homes. They'll be coming on soon, but you've already seen the old office structures in there start coming down. Next slide. All right, just south of that, along Camino Ramon, is BR7. Just a couple weeks ago, a couple months ago, you started to see work being done at BR7. This will be about 190 new units going in there. Again, some more for-sale units, and these will be, again, homes for people to buy. Next slide. And then right adjacent to that is the current the Sunset Development Service Center. And at that service center will be an affordable housing project. It'll be built and managed by Eden Housing. And Eden Housing is one of the best affordable housing producers in the country. We're very fortunate to have them coming to San Ramon because they provide on-site services as well. It's not just affordable, income qualified people coming into the city, but they're going to help them stay in their homes. And these are for people that are already working in our city. So, the people that you interact with all the time at our different businesses and retail, this housing is for them, and this is going to be a beautiful new facility. It's about 200 units. There's about half for seniors and about half for housing for families for that workforce. Okay, next slide. Then I also want to highlight Bartlett Pear Park. So that's across from BR7, kind of down at the end. You've seen City Village going in for quite some time now. They'll hopefully be finishing that up soon. But at the corner of Executive Parkway and Camino Ramon, there's a 2-acre park. And what's really special about that is that it's a privately owned but publicly accessible. So the owner of the property will be the ones carrying on really the long-term maintenance of that park, yet all the residents of our city will have access to this new park. So there's a quick kind of bird's eye view of what's going on at that park. Next slide. All right, and then I want to cover Avalon Bay. This is something that just started just a couple weeks ago. The equipment's already over there. This is in that space between City Hall and City Center, right over here. That big empty lot that has been there for years. That space was approved back as part of the City Walk Master Plan in 2020 for development, but what's going to go in there is 457 apartments, 2 different buildings connected by kind of a skyway, and they've already got the kind of the earth-moving equipment in there, the leveling equipment, and so you'll see something moving on that. I don't know if you'll see any vertical movement on that this year, but there's progress going to be made there. Okay, next. And then across the street over kind of on the library side of Bollinger, over next to Belmont Village. Belmont Village is our new senior living facility. They just celebrated their 1-year anniversary. It's a beautiful place. If you haven't been over there, go check out Belmont Village. But here's another bird's eye look, kind of a sneak peek into how that park is progressing along. And again, it's one of those POPAs. It's one of those privately owned, publicly accessible parks. So we're excited about that. It's costing probably the owner a little bit more than they anticipated, but those costs are being borne by the owner. They're still going to come up with a first-rate product and that'll be available to our residents. Okay, next slide. Okay, and just to kind of finish up here, just talk a little bit about, again, how this is all got to be done thoughtfully, right? With these new residences, and I didn't cover everything. There's more things that have been approved, but these are the ones you might see. But we got to do this thoughtfully. So we've got the school district involved because there's going to be more people, right? So what about where are the kids going to go to school? Well, the school district has declining enrollment, so they got to think about, you know, what's the balance between all these new people coming in with their declining enrollment? What about utilities? What about water to serve these areas? What's the impact on other services like fire, police? What's the impact on traffic and our roads? And so we have to think through these things thoughtfully. But the point is, we are doing that. These other agencies are involved as part of this process, and we're trying to do this in a smart way in the future. And again, you're not going to see those impacts directly in your neighborhoods. That focus is around Bishop Ranch, and I'm just going to digress just for a second. And I don't want to not talk too much about Bishop Ranch, but Bishop Ranch is able to do this because they're going through their own transition as well, with the changes in kind of the workforce environment, where people work, how they work, you know, working from home and things like that, as well as just the way businesses leverage technology. They need less space. They can hotel their workers and things like that. So they have the opportunity to consolidate within Bishop Ranch, and that frees up some of the existing office structures that they have, as well as parking lots for us to be able to do the things that we need to do to kind of protect those neighborhoods and protect that open space and still meet our state mandated housing requirements. So, and the last thing on the slide I'll show is, if you haven't been up to Memorial Park lately, we've got a beautiful new bronze eagle up there, kind of looking out towards Memorial Park, you know, kind of reflecting back on the history of our city and kind of remembering that, as well as kind of standing guard over the future of our city and how we evolve over time. So I'll close out with just by saying thank you for being a part of all that we do. What makes San Ramon such a great city? It's because of what you value that you've communicated to us. It's the kinds of your involvement, your leadership, your participation in different community events that make this such a great city. So, and it is not just a great city, but it's a city of neighbors, and I'm part of that neighborhood as well. So thank you again for coming, and I want to say our future is bright. So thank you very much.